I mean, to me, my mindset was like, I don't have children. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's when the will kicks in. It's when you have someone to actually, like, I have to care about what's going to happen to these children.
Right.
I don't care about what happens to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Until I start to be around Black women will and begin to realize that I do have assets. I want to make sure that I am in control of where it goes. I don't want to leave that responsibility on my family to be able to have to determine that. Because, I mean, I think we all kind of know we have some good family members, we have some bad family members. And for me, making that decision on my own was the best route to go.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Thank Me Later Show with me, your host, Jini Thornton. And I know you want to be a legacy builder. Do you even know what a legacy builder is? I am so excited today to introduce a whole new segment to you. This is our Legacy Builder series, and I'm talking to someone who has started their journey on building their legacy and leaving their legacy through our amazing Black Women Will event. So I don't want to get too distracted and talk about that yet. But again, legacy building, what does that mean to you, right? Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for in your family, in your community? And, we are very intentional at Thank Me Later about legacy building. And that all came to life with our amazing event, Black Women Will, that we're getting ready for the 4th edition that's coming up November 16th. So if you're new to the show, thank you. We are so happy that you're here. Please like and subscribe, but we definitely need you to share because this is information that you need to be passing on to your community. You need to be your brother and your sister's keeper. So if you've been rocking with us for a while, we greatly appreciate that. So certainly we want you to check out this episode, but we need you to go back and check out some of the other episodes too. There's always an opportunity for you to learn about your money and finances. So we have a special guest with us today. I'm so excited. Chris Hollis is here with us today.
Hello. Nice to be here again.
I'm so happy that you're here. So it's so funny introducing you.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? So Chris and I, we have worked together. We were trying to get this right before we went on camera. We think about 13 or 14 years now.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy
mm-hmm.
that we've been together that long? Mm-hmm. So we work in a company called Envision Business Management Group, and where we handle the finances of people exclusively in the entertainment industry. And so Chris is our president, actually, whether she wanted to be or not. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about that today. But Chris is our fearless leader, and with an amazing career that has spanned over 20 years in the accounting world. We both used to work at KPMG. That's mm-hmm. another thing that we had in common. But what I love, I think, the most about Chris is, with us being in the entertainment space, is that you actually were an artist before.
That's right.
A lot of people don't know that about you, but I think that has helped you to be so successful in our space because you are so patient and so understanding, but you still know how to tighten people up. Yep. People in our world need to be tightened up a little bit.
That's right.
But it is very interesting to be this engrossed and involved in people's lives. Mm-hmm. We have to do a whole episode on that.
On what?
On working in the entertainment industry.
We have some stories to tell.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple that are in mind right now. So, but you're here today because you are part of our class of 2023 of Black Women Will. Point to your 23 on your shoulder. Yes.
I don't know if you all can see that.
Well, first of all, the jacket is too cute and too fly. Oh my God.
I love it.
So represents the Black Women Will look, feel, and energy. But you were part of our class of 2023. That means you got your documents done with us.
That's great.
But
I got my will and the healthcare director
done. But you volunteered with us the other 2 years, though.
Right.
So you have been here with us like boots on the ground from the beginning.
Right.
So we appreciate your support.
Yeah. It was actually volunteering that made me really kind of put some fire behind me as far as wanting to get my will done, because I felt like I was too close to not get it done.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I had my friends who had actually signed up already was in. And I was like, you know what? I need to get this done as well. So that's really kind of what kicked me into gear. Yeah. So it was really cool.
I'm happy that we kicked you into gear.
Yeah, you did.
I love that.
You did.
So I want to share some statistics before we jump into our conversation that we're going to have today. It says single and unmarried individuals are less likely to have an estate plan compared to married counterparts. Approximately 78% of single adults do not have a will compared to 60% of married individuals. Yeah, because you're single, no children, right? Unmarried individuals without children are particularly less likely to have an estate plan in place. The survey indicated that 85% of unmarried adults without children do not have a will or estate plan. And Chris, I did not realize that was a thing until beginning Black Women Will. And I kept meeting single, amazing, talented Black women with assets, single with no kids, and they kept saying, this doesn't apply to me. This doesn't apply to me because I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I don't have anybody, but I'm like,
to pass it down to.
But girl, you have assets though. Like, where are they going to go? Like, you need a plan more than anybody else.
Exactly.
And so I didn't realize that was a thing until the birth of Black Women Will. So can you resonate with those data points?
Yes, exactly. I mean, to me, my mindset was like, I don't have children. So to me, that's when the will kicks in. It's when you have someone to actually, like, I have to care about what's going to happen to these children.
Right.
I don't care about what happens to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Until I start to be around Black Women Will and begin to realize that I do have assets. I want to make sure that I am in control of where it goes. I don't want to leave that responsibility on my family to be able to have to determine that. Because, I think we all kind of know we have some good family members. We have some bad family members. And for me, making that decision on my own was the best route to go.
Yeah. So when I first started talking to you about the idea of Black Women Will, did you think I was crazy?
No.
No.
Why would I think you were crazy?
I don't know, because a lot of people are like, what? You gonna do what? Y'all gonna do free? Y'all gonna do wills for people for free?
Well, maybe I don't know if it seemed a little somber. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things
It seemed sad to you.
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah, because you're talking about wills and who wants to do their own will.
Right.
But that's one of the things that I love about the Black Women Will events. How you've managed to take a very somber event and turn it into a party.
Yeah.
It's like there's such a buzz in the air. Like that, I think that's probably why you have so many people that return.
Right.
Because it's so much fun. But yeah, it's a really cool event.
So in 2023, you got your will done.
Yes.
You got your healthcare directive done. You've seen you had the experience of Black Women Will, but you were able to make some very serious decisions. Who's going to be in charge, what medical help you wanted if you became ill. That's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing.
Yeah. The healthcare directive is heavy.
Yeah, and I remember being in that particular course or portion of it.
Yes.
And, although I did say it was a party, there were some tears.
A lot of tears on that part.
You did see some sniffing, and I even had that moment myself, but it is a decision we still have to make.
Right. So if you had to describe Black Women Will in one word, or maybe two, it could be a phrase if you can't get down to one word, what would you call it? What would you say?
It's probably going to be boring, but no.
I was like,
no. Start over. The word I'm going to say is probably boring. Make sure y'all keep that in there.
Man, you caught me off guard with that.
The word I'm going to say is probably boring, but I was going to say that it was beautiful. That it was a very beautiful event. And I mean that in every way, from the people to the people that's there, to all of the activities that we get to participate in, to how it's decorated.
Yes.
It is girl power all day.
Right.
All of the volunteers are so nice, So to me, it was just a beautiful event. And like I said, there's such a buzz in the air. People were dancing,
Isn't that crazy? You get your will done.
Literally dancing.
And you're dancing.
Exactly.
Right.
So you get to... to me, it was just a beautiful event. I was not expecting it. My first year when I went, I wasn't expecting it to feel the way it felt.
To be fun. And I think that was really our goal, was how can we change the energy? Because the business is the business. The decisions are the decisions. But I didn't want people there to be sad and heavy. I wanted people to leave and just feel like they were on fire. Because what we know for sure, if they feel that way, in the room, people are posting in real time. They're bringing their girlfriends. It's fun. So if we could turn it into fun, now we can encourage other people to do it too.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Thank you. And that's exactly what the goal is. Like, how can we just flip it? So I think we've done a good job of figuring how to do
done
that.
an amazing job. An amazing job.
So tell me, what was one of your biggest takeaways at Black Women Will? So you had the experience, you got your documents done, but when you think about your personal life, not just what's happening in the room, like what's a big takeaway for you personally?
Takeaway from Black Women Will?
Yeah, like were you just relieved because you got your things were in order? Was it you were like, it's just, you were just kind of checking the box.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like, I will say that there was some relief there. Definitely it made me think about things that I probably wouldn't have thought about. So I was able to put a lot of things in place to help me along with that. But again, just being around, I think it was inspiring too, to be around so many Black women that was handling their business. And if anything, it lit a fire up under me to want to make sure that we have other Black women that will come in and do the same.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really what it did. It inspired me.
One thing that I appreciated about you and your experience, I know that was several people in your friend group came. And how many of y'all was it?
So far, it's been about 4 people.
About 4. And how did y'all talk about it? Like, ooh, girl, we're going to go get our wills done. Like, how did it?
Honestly, the 2022, I didn't even know they signed up.
Your friends.
I sent it out to everybody, and they walked through the door.
Right.
Like that probably happened about 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Honestly,
You're like, girl,
I'm just like at a table. I'm like, wait, what are you doing here? So, that first year I didn't know. The second time, everybody began to tell me about it.
Right.
And going forward.
And let me tell you why I appreciate that is because it's all about being your sister's keeper. Because it's one thing for us to get our stuff in order, but it's very important that everybody in our community does the same thing. We have been taught to work hard, but we have not been taught to preserve what we have. And I think a lot of times we think, oh, you have to be like wealthy. You don't have millions of dollars, that this doesn't apply to you. No, if you have a retirement account, a bank account, a house, whatever it is, like you have to have a plan. Like you work for that. Right. You work for that. So like, what are you going to do to make sure that your family everything is just going to be in order?
Right. Because again, like I was saying, you don't want to put that in somebody else's hand.
Right.
That's really another takeaway that I had from that is that you don't want to leave this up to people. Like even while I was going through it, like, you have those family members. Like I have one brother or for entertainment purposes only, I'm going to say one brother that, he may not share everything with the other brother. You understand what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I'm
That's
like,
how
okay,
families work for real.
You have to know your
Right.
family. You know what I mean? So go ahead and spelling that all out for me was very helpful.
Right.
And so that way I know that it protects my family from all kind of strife that could happen. Right. As well as I can make sure that things are allocated the way that I wanted them to be.
And I appreciate you sharing that story or giving that example about your brothers, because all of our families are like that. It just might be a different character, a different relationship, but it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know it.
Yeah. Because you are related to these people. We didn't get to pick them. We inherited these people and you know who they are. And that's why you have got to make the plan and the decisions, because you already know how it's going to happen. So let's just remove that, from the equation, because it's going to happen that way. Exactly. And it happens. It's people. I think people feel like they're alone. Like, no, girl, my family, it's going to go down in my family too. Right.
And even if you know that is definitely the situation, all the more reason why it's important to go ahead and get that will done.
Absolutely.
To protect your family and your assets.
Right. Because it's really about order. It's really a gift of order. Because, a lot of times that's how families become fractioned, divided, because now there's this fight, us versus them, and people are making decisions. But what you're saying is, I've made all the decisions. Y'all don't have to fight about that. Exactly. If you're going to be mad, they're going to need to be mad at you.
Exactly.
Right. Because all the decisions have been made. I love that. So after you started down your journey, class of 23, point to your 23 again, class of 23, what was kind of the next step for you as far as getting your legacy in order?
So right now, because there are a few things that I'm working on as far as when it comes down to real estate and different things, my next step is a trust. Because I know that I'm going to probably be purchasing real estate that are in different states, and
I love that.
And if it's my understanding that, if it's just left in the will, then they would have to go to each state to be able to transfer my assets. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So to me, the trust was the easiest way to go about that.
Okay.
So that is my goal, to transfer the assets that I have, the assets I'm going to acquire, into this trust.
And so do you think your experience with the Black woman will has got you thinking differently now?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Because it's not about, the other part of it is continuing to update it,
For sure.
As I incur more assets, I need to make sure that I update this and keep it to the point where it's current, So that's I think that's probably why I'm thinking about the next steps. Mm-hmm. I know that I want to purchase more property,
right,
and so forth. So to me, the trust would be the easiest step for me.
Right. So if you're going to do it, what you're saying is I need to handle it like real business, because it is.
Exactly.
And let me make sure I'm taking the appropriate steps. So while I'm here, everything is cool. But if I'm not here, it's going to be cool and transition properly too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I definitely don't want a situation where I have a will that's out of date.
Right.
And also, if there's anything that I can do to even make that process even more smoother,
right,
I want to do that as well.
Right. So I'm just going to take a sidebar for just a second.
Sidebar.
Thank you, Chris. So for those of you who live in Georgia, there's some new legislation that just got passed in Georgia in July of 2024, where you can now, just like how you can add somebody's name, a transfer on death, to like a bank account or investment account, so it can bypass probate. You can do that with property now too. So what that means is you can sign a document and you can say, hey, when something happens to me, I want my brother, my niece, my mom, or whomever, they can inherit the property immediately and not have to go through probate at all. So that's huge. And so just to kind of say it in layman's terms, what that really means for us culturally, for Black people, we lose so much property and it gets stuck in this probate process because we don't know what to do.
Right.
And it takes so long. We don't know how much
money.
things cost. It could take money. So what we're saying is you can bypass all of that now with a single document now. And this is a new, it's happened in other states forever ago, but it just became a law in Georgia.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to look to make sure that that's a law in the other states that I'm planning on purchasing.
Absolutely. And it's something that we all need to do because it's that easy. Because again, our goal here is whatever we've acquired, we need to be intentional that it's titled the right way and all the legal things, but we need to make sure we're not going to be here forever.
Right.
That it's going to easily transfer to whoever is next in line. That's all that means.
Yeah, I agree.
And we want it to stay in our families.
Right.
Because particularly real estate, that's how we, that is our main way of how we accumulate wealth and how we transfer wealth. So we got to make it easy. That's what we said. Please don't sell your grandma's house. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what is it about that people just think like, oh, we just need to get rid of it, and you don't realize that for that quick money and not thinking about the long game. I just think that's something that we suffer from so badly.
Oh, for sure. Everybody's just trying to get the check. So tell me now what you want your legacy to be. Like, what does that mean to you now?
That's interesting. As far as my legacy, when you say legacy, like, are you meaning it from the aspect of just like assets or like what people remember about me?
With all of the above.
I just think it would definitely be a situation where I want people to remember me based on my faith, how I've treated people. I've always tried to be fair and put myself in other people's shoes. But I definitely also want to be in a situation where I'm setting the people who come behind me up.
Right.
That's very important for me, for my nephews to be able to not have to start from a different place in life than I had to. And whoever it can be, my family, whoever, the assets transfer to, I definitely want to be able to put them in a better place.
Right.
And not just with the will or with tangible assets, but with the knowledge as well.
Absolutely. So you mentioned your nephews. Tell people how many you have.
I have 7.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. All boys. 7
All boys,
nephews.
No nieces. No nieces. So I can throw a mean football. I always tell people that. I can throw a mean football.
So they range from age like what to what? Which
oldest
is
Caden is 18.
18.
and Layson is 3.
3. Boy, I cannot. You know, I love boy energy.
Yeah, I love boy energy.
I love
too.
boy.
And I have nothing but brothers.
So
I'm the only girl.
I love that for you.
I love it for me too.
I love that for you.
There's no other way I prefer it.
Oh my God. You know, I told David when I was pregnant with our second son, I'm like, if it's a girl, who are you taking home? Me or her? We both can't come home. So you go pick who it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's the way it's supposed to be. So anything else about your legacy before we go to our hotline caller today?
No, that's it.
Okay. So let's go to our hotline caller. We have someone who has a question related to our legacy building topic that we're discussing today.
Ooh.
Hey, Jini, it's Christian from Ohio. And my question, so my sister is 45. She's not married and doesn't have any children. I've encouraged her to get a will done, but she thinks because she doesn't have children, she doesn't need to. What can I do to persuade her? Should she get her estate plan in place? What do you think?
You know, it's funny. I hear this all the time. And the main thing that I think about, Chris, is what really inspired me with Black Women Will is, you know, my mother passed away when I was 29 and every decision was made. I did not have to look for one thing. Every single decision was made. It was perfectly laid out for me. And I think it was the best gift that she had ever given me before. So I say all that to say that is, to me, the argument, you know, the position that you come from. It's not just the document.
Right.
It's like you are saying, hey, I want to make sure that you are good and everyone else is good. I'm not going to leave you with a mess.
Right.
Because grieving is difficult enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you have those friends who are just like, girl, that's not me.
Right.
You know, what I've done is I've started asking them questions about assets I know they already own. Like, what you going to do with your house?
Right.
What are you going to do with your car?
Right.
Then you have a friend who has this jewelry set that she wants to give to her aunt. And I'm like, you know, your mom is not going to let that happen.
Not in a
you know?
million years.
So
Right.
once I began, I could see the wheels churning in their head. So I would start by just asking a few questions,
Right.
you know, and making people really begin to think about the things that they have.
With the yes.
Because I think that will help them to see things differently.
Right.
Because they don't want to leave that decision up to someone else.
Right. And I appreciate that because I think that's another way that I've been able to connect with people is because like they have certain things. I'm like, if you want your niece, you know, you want your alma mater, you want whatever, your church to get it, that ain't gonna happen unless you specifically put that in writing. It's not gonna happen.
Right.
You know, sending an email or a text or mentioning it on the fly to your sister or your mom, it is not gonna happen the way that you want it.
And you'll be surprised. I know people who have businesses and over organizations that they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you are really making things hard for the people who are going to be here behind you.
Absolutely.
You're the one who have the influence with these people. You need to be the ones making the decisions.
Absolutely.
Don't leave this to someone else to try to deal with this after you.
Right.
It's almost irresponsible.
It is irresponsible.
You know, to allow that to have to be the fight that has to happen after you're gone.
Yeah. Getting your will done should be as normal as getting your taxes done, you know, but it's going to take time for us to make that happen. You know, we have to say it over and over and show, you know, that it's possible and it's worth the time investment, the money investment, because it's an investment.
It is.
You know, in order to get it done. Well, thank you. Chris Hollis, class of 2023, Black Women
Yes,
Will.
and I do want to say that class of 23 is the best class ever. You know, I definitely love the fact of how y'all even turned. That was another element of Black Women Will that I wasn't expecting, which was the classes, you know. So if you are in class of 2023 and you're watching this, please, you know, rep your class. Shout out 2023 in the comments. But yeah, 2023 best class ever.
Oh yeah, y'all y'all are our biggest class today. 180, y'all 185 deep.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 185. You know, 24 is coming for y'all though.
Okay. It's fine.
They're coming for y'all 250 deep.
Yeah.
We're going to 250. Oh yeah,
Okay.
we're going to 250. Okay. So for anybody who lives in Georgia and you're like, ooh, I need to get my stuff done, or you know someone who lives in Georgia who does, please go to blackwomenwill.com to register. Our event is Saturday, November the 16th at Impact Church, which is in East Point, Georgia. And participating in this can change your entire life. It literally can change your entire life. So again, blackwomenwill.com. You can also connect with us within our Thank Me Later community. We're available to you. And so thank you for tuning into the Thank Me Later show with me, your host, Jini Thornton. Thank you, Chris Hollis.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, for being here and listen and for working with me all this time and not quitting as many times as you have threatened to quit.
I have quit a couple of times. I just came back.
Thank you, Chris. So again, please follow me on social media at Jini Thornton, also at TML Money. And again, like and subscribe. Please share, and we will see you next episode. Thank you, everybody.